They say time heals all wounds, but what if time brings your pain right back, dressed in a wedding gown and standing beside the man who once vowed to love you forever? Stay with me till the end, because what happened next at that charity gala will leave you speechless, and trust me, you'll want to like this video and subscribe to our channel right now before the twist unfolds. The ballroom glowed with crystal chandeliers and murmurs of wealth, the kind of place where champagne flowed like water, and smiles were worth millions. Amelia Carter stood near the edge of the room, her silver gown shimmering like moonlight, elegant yet distant, as if she didn't quite belong in the world of pearls and polished shoes. 3 years ago, she had walked away from this very crowd, broken, divorced, and humiliated by the man she once loved, Daniel Hayes. He had chosen someone else, someone younger, more glittering, leaving Amelia to rebuild herself from ashes. Tonight, however, wasn't supposed to be about the past. It was the annual Horizon Gala for Children's Health, an event she'd been invited to as a quiet philanthropist who had recently made headlines for donating a massive sum anonymously. Little did anyone know that Amelia's fortune had come from her determination, her late father's small company, and a man she had met in the most unexpected way, a man whose shadow was now walking through those grand double doors. Daniel entered the room with his new wife, Vanessa, a vision of youth and designer perfection, her golden curls arranged flawlessly, her diamond necklace catching the light like a statement of victory. He walked with that familiar confidence Amelia used to admire, his hand proudly wrapped around the woman beside him. For a moment, the air seemed to tighten. Heads turned. Conversations faltered. Even after 3 years, Daniel's presence had a way of demanding attention. Amelia's heart skipped, not out of love, but memory. It wasn't pain anymore. It was just the strange ache of remembering how far she had come from the woman who used to beg him to stay. She turned slightly, pretending not to notice them, but Vanessa's voice carried, sweet and deliberate. "Oh my, Daniel, isn't that your ex-wife? She looks, well, decent." A polite smile curved Vanessa's lips, the kind that concealed daggers beneath silk. Daniel chuckled softly, not realizing how his reaction betrayed him. "Yes, that's Amelia. I didn't expect her here." He said it like she was out of place, as though she didn't belong in this world anymore. Amelia took a quiet sip of champagne, her eyes steady, her spine straight. The old her would have walked away. The woman standing there now didn't need to. And then, from across the room, another figure approached, a man with the kind of presence that silenced everything. Tall, sharp-suited, with eyes the color of midnight and confidence that didn't shout but commanded. Ethan Rhodes. Billionaire investor. Known for transforming struggling companies into empires. Known for his ruthless deals and his rare, almost invisible romantic life. Tonight, however, the billionaire wasn't here for business. His gaze found Amelia almost instantly, and something flickered between them, a familiarity Daniel hadn't expected. Ethan walked directly toward her, ignoring the crowd that parted in his wake. "You look stunning tonight, Amelia," he said, his voice calm, low, intimate. "I'm glad you came." The room shifted. Amelia smiled, her expression softening. "I wouldn't miss it for the world," she replied. Daniel froze where he stood, his hand falling slightly from Vanessa's arm. Ethan took Amelia's hand and, in front of everyone, pressed a kiss gently against her knuckles. It was elegant, respectful, but filled with something deeper, something that made whispers spread like wildfire across the ballroom. Cameras turned. Heads craned. Daniel's jaw tightened, his once proud stance faltering as he realized that his ex-wife, the woman he'd thought would fade quietly from his story, was now standing beside one of the most powerful men in the city. Vanessa leaned closer to Daniel, her confidence wavering. "Do you know him?" she whispered, eyes darting nervously. "That's Ethan Rhodes, isn't it?" "The billionaire who—" "Yes," Daniel interrupted, his voice strained. He did know. He knew that Ethan Rhodes wasn't just any name. He was the same man Daniel had once approached for an investment in his company, a deal that had fallen through because Ethan had withdrawn his interest without explanation. Daniel hadn't known why. Until now. Ethan's hand remained lightly on Amelia's waist as he guided her toward the main table. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, a ripple of fascination passing through them. For Amelia, the world felt like it was moving in slow motion. She could still feel Daniel's stare on her back, the weight of years of heartbreak and betrayal suddenly lifting with each step she took beside Ethan. She remembered the night she had met Ethan, a rainy evening 2 years ago when she was struggling to keep her father's small firm afloat. He had walked into her life like an unexpected storm, offering guidance, belief, and eventually, friendship that turned into something quieter but stronger than she had ever known. The gala continued, filled with speeches, laughter, and music, but Daniel's mind was trapped in the past. Every time he saw Ethan whisper something into Amelia's ear and make her smile, his stomach twisted. Vanessa tried to distract him, talking about her dress, the decor, the crowd, but he couldn't hear her. The man who had once believed he could replace Amelia now realized he had lost something irreplaceable. And worse, the world had just seen it. Later, as the night deepened and the crowd thinned, Amelia found herself standing on the balcony overlooking the city lights. The cool air brushed her cheeks as she took a deep breath, finally feeling free. Ethan joined her quietly, his presence calm and grounding. "You handled that beautifully," he murmured. "I didn't do it for him," she said softly. "I did it for the woman I've become." Ethan smiled. "And she's remarkable." Inside, Daniel watched them through the glass doors, his reflection overlapping with theirs, a man staring at everything he threw away. Vanessa, frustrated by his distraction, excused herself to greet a friend, leaving him alone with the ghost of his choices. As the orchestra began its final melody, Ethan turned to Amelia. "Dance with me?" he asked. She hesitated, then placed her hand in his. As they moved together under the chandeliers, the room seemed to fade until there was only the rhythm of their steps and the quiet strength of connection that needed no words. Amelia wasn't seeking revenge, she was living her peace. That was the real victory. When the song ended, Ethan leaned in slightly, his voice barely above a whisper. "For what it's worth, you deserve everything you've built, and more." Amelia looked up at him, her eyes bright but steady. "So do you, Ethan. For believing in me when no one else did." In that moment, Daniel finally looked away. For the first time in years, he felt small, watching the woman he had once broken become someone untouchable, someone radiant, someone loved. And as Ethan pressed a soft kiss to Amelia's forehead in front of everyone once more, Daniel knew the truth: some mistakes are permanent. If you've made it this far, you know this story isn't done yet, because what happens next between Amelia, Daniel, and Ethan will turn everything upside down. So before we dive into the shocking second chapter, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel right now, so you don't miss the moment Daniel finally realizes just how deep the billionaire's connection to his ex-wife truly goes. Daniel approached Amelia outside the gala, regret trembling in his voice, but Ethan stepped forward, protective and calm. "She's not yours anymore," he said. Amelia smiled softly, slipping her hand into Ethan's. "No, I never was." Daniel froze, watching love he once destroyed reborn without him.